Hey, what's going on, everybody? Chris Mabry here from the Die Hard Football Podcast, the podcast for Die Hard football fans. Week number 2 is here. That's right, it's going fast and furious. And we have a lot to talk about from week number 1. Before we can cover week number 2, let's start with that blowout victory by Dallas in the New York Giants game on Sunday Night Football to kick off the Sunday Night Football season for NBC. Dallas had one of their biggest blowouts in history, or should I say shutouts in team history, by scoring 40 points and the New York Giants scoring a measly 0. But we all know the Giants are a really good team. You can't really go off of that one. It was just a really bad day for the Giants. And something that's really been bugging the New York Jets is they are now without their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who we all know who played for the Green Bay Packers, now with the New York Jets. Unfortunately, 4 plays into the season, he went down with an Achilles injury, and that pretty much sidelined him for the rest of the season. However, I think that uh, he could come back sooner rather than later. So it should be a fun little, I guess, experiment to see if he can return. Now let now let's move on to week number 2 of the NFL season. That kicked off with Amazon Prime's Thursday Night Football between the Minnesota Vikings, who were defeated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home in week number 1. Then you have on the other side the home team for this matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles from the NFC East. They are looking to continue their winning streak, while Minnesota is looking for their first win. It was loud, it was rowdy, although we have the best rowdy in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys, but I digress. It wasn't a good day for Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. They did not like that, apparently, as the Eagles won that game, going 2-0, while Minnesota is still looking for win number 1. They are sitting in NFC North at 0-2. As for this Sunday's matchups, you have the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. Both these teams are kicking off the 12 o'clock noon slate of games. Green Bay and Jordan Love looked fantastic in the game against Chicago last week. And then on the other side of the ball, you have the Atlanta Falcons, who played okay in their opening week's games. But as it sits right now, maybe Vegas didn't feel too keen on Jordan Love, or maybe they just like the Falcons quarterback a little bit better. Falcons are at 1.5 point favorites, but Green Bay has shown me some stuff. I don't know. I'm going with the Packers. I'm going to go Jordan Love and the Packers to win this game. Then you have the Chicago Bears and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We know that Tampa Bay won their game in week 1 against Minnesota. Chicago lost against Green Bay last week. They're still trying to get their first win of the season. Uh, Tampa Bay is 2.5 points favorite. I'm going with Tampa Bay on this one. I don't think there's nothing to really explain in that game. Um, I think Tampa Bay has more experience because they got Baker Mayfield. Seahawks and the Lions. What a win that was for the Detroit Lions going up against the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. They stunned the world on that game, winning 21-20. But they are going against Geno Smith-led Seattle Seahawks, another team that last year shocked the world by making the playoffs and Geno Smith winning Comeback Player of the Year. So we'll see how that goes in that game. Like I said, 4.5-point favorites for the Detroit Lions. I'm going to continue on that train and go Lions is my pick. Then you have the Raiders and the Bills. A team like the Raiders who want to win, and a team like Buffalo who is used to winning, just didn't do it on Monday Night Football against the Jets. The crowd was rowdy there, loud, uh, was hopeful. The Jets were about Aaron Rodgers. Uh, Buffalo Bills lost that game in overtime. Raiders looked good last week. Buffalo is 9.5 points favorites to win this game. I like a sleeping underdog, but I'm going to go with the Bills on this one. The LA Chargers and the Tennessee Titans, a battle of AFC teams, conference opponents. Chargers are 2.5 points favorites to win this game. I'm going with the Chargers on this one. I don't think Tennessee has a good quarterback. Chargers quarterback Herbert is a little better. We'll see how that game goes. Next, you have a battle in the AFC South. The Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. A battle in the division against rookie quarterbacks and against both these teams who have a losing record of 0-1. Should be a fun matchup. And even Vegas is saying it's going to be a close matchup. They got Houston winning by 1. And I agree with that. Being in Texas, I do like the Colts though. I think Richardson is going to be better than Stroud, but we'll see how the season goes. All 4 rookie quarterbacks from last week lost, but luckily this week one of them is going to win this game, and I'm thinking it's going to be Houston. Next, you have the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens won their game. Bengals lost their game. Joe Burrow had a massive contract extension just prior to the season kicking off. That didn't seem to help. He had a horrible day last week against Cleveland. This week they're going up against another AFC North rival in the Ravens. I feel bad for Cincinnati, but apparently the Vegas people don't. They got Cincinnati at 3-point favorites, but just based off of what I saw in the Ravens and the Bengals game, I'm gonna take my pick and go Baltimore. I think Baltimore is gonna shock Cincinnati again. Sorry, Bengals fans, you probably will go 0-2 in this one. Um, that's just my thought on that. Then you have the Kansas City Chiefs going to Jacksonville, Florida, and taking on the Jaguars. 3.5 points is your your betting line for this game, going towards Kansas City to win this game. I agree with that. I like both these quarterbacks, Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence. They're good. But you gotta go with the Super Bowl. I guess you call him Guru, the next Tom Brady. He's won 2 out of 3, which is pretty good for a quarterback like him. I think one day you'll see Trevor Lawrence in the Super Bowl. Will it be this year? I don't think so. but it is a rematch of last year's playoff game. But I think Kansas City's going to get back on tracks and win this game. 49ers and the Rams, a NFC West matchup going to Los Angeles, California at SoFi Stadium. You got Brock Purdy. He's a little bit Purdy. And you got Matthew Stafford led LA Rams. They've been good for many years, but after their Super Bowl run about a year or two ago, they just haven't been right. I don't think it's the coaching. Maybe it's the quarterback. Maybe the quarterback, Stafford. He's like, I got my ring. I can retire peacefully and happy. That's all I've wanted in my 10, 12-year career when I was with the Detroit Lions. And then you have Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. He went from 0 to hero when he was backing up Trey Lance and Garoppolo, who are now in two totally different markets, and they just left Brock Purdy behind. He's been nothing but winning games for this team. He only has one loss on his record, and that came last year in the playoffs. A game short of the Super Bowl. That's a great accomplishment for. Oh, and he was also Mr. Irrelevant, the very last pick in this in last year's NFL draft. 49ers are 7-point favorites to win this game. I don't know about that number, but I do agree with them. San Francisco is most likely going to win this game. Next, you have the Giants and the Cardinals. This starts this is another game in the 4 o'clock slate. San Francisco was in the 4 o'clock slate. Cardinals and the Giants. Cardinals home game. Both teams look horrible. I don't know what Arizona's doing with their quarterback, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Cardinals almost won that game against Washington last week, and then we talked about it at the top of the show. The New York Giants just totally pooped the bed against Dallas. However, Vegas is saying 4.5-point favorites for New York. I guess between these two teams, they're right about that. So I'm going to go with the Giants over the Cardinals. And then in the the next game in the late afternoon slot, you have the Jets and the Cowboys. Cowboys are favored 8.5. I'm sure that was way lower when Aaron Rodgers was still the quarterback. I had the Cowboys losing this game back in the preseason, I think it was, or at least after the draft was over and the schedule was out. I had Cowboys losing this game. Vegas is saying they're the top dog to win this game. I hope they're right. Both these teams have really good defenses. I think this is going to be a defensive game. Cowboys will score points. Jets will score, I'm going to say 9 points in this game. I just think the Cowboys are going to win this game. Next, you have Washington and Denver. Boy, the Denver, Colorado area is happy with their sports, happy with their football. Colorado with Deion Sanders. Sean Payton with the Broncos. Even though the Broncos didn't win that game, they seemed really good with Russell Wilson, with Sean Payton. New ownership in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. The Commanders, they're looking okay. Taylor, I can't remember the quarterback's name, but he was kind of washy last week. Hopefully, he has a better week this week. Looks like the Broncos are 3.5-point favorites. I'm going to ride with the Broncos. Broncos, let's ride. Um, and plus, the Washington Commanders are in the NFC East, along with the Giants, and Cowboys, and Philly. I know every team in that division will win at some point. I hope not, but uh, I like Denver in this game. We end Sunday with Sunday Night Football with the Dolphins and the Patriots. Dolphins look fantastic. Patriots look, and plus they had the Tom Brady welcome back parade party and announced that he would be in the team's Hall of Fame on 6/12/24. Ironically, he won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots. He did wear number 12 for the Patriots. So that date is very special to Patriots fans around the world and including the Patriots team. Dolphins, when Tua is healthy, he is probably the best quarterback next to Allen in that division, in that AFC East. Um, Patriots are 2.5 point. No, I'm sorry. Dolphins are 2.5 point favorites to win this game. I'm gonna go with it. I'm not a fan of the Patriots' personal beliefs, but I'm going with the Dolphins. Next, we have a doubleheader of Monday Night Football. Both of them are divisional games. Should be fun. We kick off Monday with the New Orleans Saints going to Carolina to face the Panthers. A low scoring margin of victory, if you say, for this game. Saints are 3 point favorites. You got an experienced quarterback in Carr, and you got a less experienced quarterback in Carolina. I'm going with the Saints on this one. And finally, in the black and blue division, ending your Monday night, ending your week 2 NFL football action, you got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers are at home. They got the rally towels going. Um, I'm going to go with Cleveland. They are 2.5 point favorites, it looks like. And Cleveland stunned the world, basically, beating the Bengals. Steelers, they looked horrible going up against uh, Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. That it pretty much wraps up week 2 of the picks. Make sure to tune in to Morning Tailgate every Sunday morning at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. Central Time on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network, where we will break down uh, pretty much what we did here on Morning Tailgate, but just a little more detail and have a little fun along the way. I will link to them in the description here. You can check them out. Make sure to check me out here on the Die Hard Football Podcast. If you like any of the stuff I cover, make sure to subscribe and follow for more. With that, enjoy your Sunday, enjoy your Monday, and enjoy week 3 on Thursday. Have a great football weekend.